Good morning and sliding into afternoon. Judy Allen here, San Antonio, Texas, with Adventurous Stamping. And it's always about what? Keeping it simple or stepping it up, right? So today you'll have to decide what you think it is, keeping it simple or stepping it up. So today I'm going to show you a fading technique, two different ways that we can do it. All right, and we're just going to make a fun card for the beach days. Let's do this. Let's get on and do it. So I want to thank you guys that have been praying for us. We got great reports, and we're just waiting for the final report next week from the biopsy. So, we're expecting just positive, wonderful things. All right, so this is what we're using here is actually the Beach Day. It's not sold as a bundle, they're sold separately, okay? And this is a carryover in the catalog or from, I guess, the spring of last year. So, anyway, it's still fun, or spring of this year, right? I act like we're in a new year. So let's start off with fading. Brought a couple of things that we can do fading with. And I just have some extra little pieces here. I decided I really didn't want to color small pieces. But when we fade, we can do it a number of different ways. Okay, and today, when you see me create the card, I'll show you the ones that I've done the fading with and so it's different. Okay, so first I'm going to use pencils. Okay, for me, pencils are the easiest way to do fading, because then all we're doing is we're just going to start off heavy in one spot, right? And you can come over and do lightly, same color, I just did real light, okay? Now we're not done, right? You may think you're done, but we're not. So this is called a blender pen. So there's a difference. These are called Stampin' blends, and this is a blender pen. So the blender pen you can use with the pencils, and all we're going to do is come along what we've already done, and we're just going to lighten it, okay? And this is already light. So just by putting lighter pressure on our pencil, then coming and just blending the two, and you can just keep on going on, it'll keep on fading, right? And I can do it like right in here too. So if you think you get too much color, you can easily pick up a little bit of color just by doing that. So we just faded by coloring heavier here, a little bit lighter here, and then we're just using this blender pen to have that fading just going over like this right here, all right? So I always make sure I get all my color off of it because I'll be using it again for something else. Okay, so number two, I just literally using two different colors. I, in this particular case, use light petal pink and light calypso coral. So if you went and you had all your blender pens together and so forth and all, you can see they're similar in color or similar in shade, right? Except one's really much lighter than the other one. Versus if I got in the dark calypso coral and use this, you'd see there wasn't a really whole lot difference. And I'm really, in fact, you can see it right here. I'm really looking for a transition change just if I faded it, right? And if you're never sure what somebody did or what you did, and you're trying to remember what you did, all you do is flip this over and look and see. So if you did it in pencil, it's not going to bleed through. If you did with markers, with a Stampin' blend, see how this bleeds through? So it's always good. I'm on glass, so I know I can clean the glass. But just to let you know, you just can keep that in mind when you're using these Stampin' blends, that the color's going to bleed through the paper, the ink is, right? So you can see the difference. There is no bleed through like that at all. I was sampling out some other Stampin' blends. So we're going to go this right here. I'm going to just do what I just did, except this is going to be a little bit different, right? And I'll show you I can't use my blender pen just like I did the other. But what I can do is I'm just going to come down like this here to whatever level I think I want it. And then I'm just going to come over to the side and blend this here too. Now it's going to look like I did do the same thing, but I really didn't, because the fact I just used this here that's most probably about 3 or 4 shades lighter than this right here, right? So the main thing is finding what are your shades difference. If I want to come through here, you're going to see this is not going to do anything. I'm going to saturate the paper maybe, but it's really not going to do any blending, okay? Whereas, and you see it's not even picking up color, whereas if I come up here, I can shade as much as I want. In fact, just to show you with a pencil, I'm just going to come down darkly like this here, just on the edge, okay? So if you didn't want to do a lot, you could just do the same thing here. And I'm just going to come down and come here. So it's just picking up ink. That has just nothing but ink that I did from the series. So if you wanted to see again, I'll show you. I pick up this color here. See how that's going to come over like that? So that's one of the things I always say to get, make sure you get all your color off your pen. But you can see I could have just as easily done it that way too. And the nice thing with pencils is you can come back in, come back over it. Now, if this was too dark, I could use a little color lifter. But keep in mind, if I use a color lifter, and I'm going to do that for you right now so you can see that. A color lifter is another way, but the thing is when I do this color lifter, I'm going to have to really saturate this. Okay? So let's see what it looks like now. See what it looks like now? Alright, now I'm going to take this here, and this is a color lifter. So this will let you get some shading in there too, but I'm going to have to really saturate this paper. So it's going to look like it's going to lift it up. And it'll get it lighter for me, right? Give me the faded look. But look at how that's done right there. Just so you know that this paper's still wet, alright? So you're just going to have to let it dry. Now, I still gave it a faded look, right? I started off dark and I got it lighter. Here, I did the same thing, but I did it with pencils, right? This one, I just took it and just did the edge and just kept on coloring over. So it kept on doing the faded. And this one here, I actually literally started off with the dark, then a little bit light stroke, and faded it on over. And this was actually just two pens put it together to get the faded look. So if I actually wanted to come down the seam of this middle right here, just to give a little more, I can. It'll lift, but again, just want you to see this is still wet, and you can see that coming through. All right. So it's just good to know what your options are and how we can get a faded look, because that's what I'm going to use on the card that we're creating. So set this aside here so you can see the faded looks. And this is what I'm going to make here. Now, so I already did some stamping and die cutting in advance, and we are going to do some stamping and cutting as well here. First, we're going to do some de-stressing though. So see here, so you can see this right here. Here's one that I already die cut out, just so you can see what it looks like, okay? Alright, so, let me just flip these over. So, like I said, I die cut some of these and stamp these out, and I'll show you some of this as we go along. Let me just put on my little pieces here. Okay. So, this is actually paper from Country Woods. I had to look over to make sure Country Woods. But it looks like, and it's wood, right? It's actually wood. But when you tear this and put this down, it looks like the water in the ocean, okay? So all I'm going to do is I'm going to start from this corner here, and I'm just going to distress the paper, right? And I want a little bit of white to show. It's going to differentiate between the sandy area and this here. Okay? So it's just going to look like we got the beach and we got our ocean right there beside us and everything else. Alright, and I'm just going to put this down. I do like distressing paper. It's sort of like tearing fabric, right? It's just something satisfying in it. Okay, somebody's asking me a question that's not live with us here. I'm letting them know that I am live on Facebook, so that they don't think I'm ignoring them. Too funny. Alright, so I'm just going to put this down right here. So yes, a lot's going on, right? I'm expecting a phone call that I have to answer for somebody else. Questions. Alright, so we got our beach look right here, right? So now I have, so I will show you some of these I did with a pencil and some I didn't. And the way you can tell, see here and here. So the blue I did with a pencil. Same thing here. If you go and look, you see, again, I did this blue. It's actually called Coastal Cabana. And you see how dark the pencil looks, but when you do the pencil and color it and lighten it, just doing with this here, that's how light it comes out. Alright, so let me go and get our pieces laid out so you can see where we're going. So we got some seagulls can't think of going to the beach without seeing some seagulls. And there's nothing like, if you ever want their attention, just throw some crackers or any kind of bread or chips or anything in the air and they will come swooping down. Alright, so I got my seagulls there. Now I've got my beach umbrellas. I really sort of like this one the best, only because it captured this here. And I did several different colors of this here. And I've got a beach ball. Right? And what we're going to do is we're going to stamp a sand castle in here. Now, I did color some of these and some of these didn't. So if you look at the back of this, you can see that this was colored with a pencil and this was done with a Stampin' blend. Now this came out darker than I wanted. I thought it was going to be a lighter color. And this one here, again, I used the Coastal Cabana that you saw used here, and you can see the difference on back right there, just so that you know what I did. Alright, now I don't know about you, and then this is also, I just used two different papers. Okay, so I just lined them up together so I could cut them simultaneously when I did the die cutting, and then I stamped over them once I got through doing that. So actually I got some different ones I did like this here. I had actually stamped here on some DSP paper. This is the Brights DSP paper. I thought I would like that better than I did, so I'm sticking with these over here. Alright, so we're going to have this right here, and we're going to have our sentiments. So let's get our beach right up here. And we want to stamp some down here too. So I've got two things we're going to stamp. One is sandcastle, right? And then I just got some beach and shells and so forth and all. So I wanted the beach and shell stuff to be really, really light. Okay? So let's see how this is going to look, just so you know. So if we stamp here once, see how light that is? And if I stamp there twice. This cardstock is actually basic beige, and I was thinking I had some basic beige ink, but I do not. So that's going to come out really just light here. This is the English a crumb cake. So I'm putting crumb cake on basic beige, and you can see that I am just getting a light smidgen of it, okay? So I'm just going to go and put some shells out here because I can. I don't know about you, but when I go to the beach, what am I looking for? Seashells, always. Anything that's different, right, than at home. So I'm going to put that there, and then we're just going to get the sand castle down here. So I'm going to use a darker color on the sand castle, just to show up a little bit better. So right, it's just a pencil. I'm actually going to use pecan pie, and I'll show you what you need to do. We'll see what this first stamp looks like with the stamp off. So it's nice to have a piece of white paper, right? So to give you an idea. So actually the second stamp off isn't bad. So let's go to the first one, because I didn't want it super dark, but I just want to look like it was playful out here, right? Kids are always at the beach doing something, whether you're covering the parents up with sand, right? Or just having some fun. Alright, so I'm going to leave it like that though. I can still stamp some more if I want to. So let me pull this all off so you can see where we're going. And I did put that on adhesive, sorry about that. Thought I didn't. And that's what happens. So I am going to put these birds up on small seagulls. Shouldn't say just birds. Seagulls up on dimensionals. Let's go ahead and get this up. We want this up. And I want this up. So this I'm actually going to put down with just adhesive. Because I'm going to put my beach chair next to it, like right here. Okay? So I'm going to put that up on dimensionals. So it's all about, right, giving things height. That's what gives it a different look and everything on. So I'm just going to come by here, go dimensional. I saw something cool yesterday. Somebody actually put their dimensional down first on the paper, and then, because I didn't forget what it. Now, if for some reason when you stamped and your black did not come out as dark as you wanted, this one's okay, but I can darken it if you want. This is a writer pen, and you can get the black individually, I believe. And you can just come down and color it just a tad bit, see? And I just wanted to show you that. I had some that I didn't, but you can do that, right? I can even do that when I'm stamping. I've done that as well too. So there's just different ways that you can sit there and do that, right? So don't get all bent out of shape if everything's not as perfect as you thought it was going to be or anything like that, right? Because the fact is, you can sit there and touch things up and nobody will know the difference. All right, so we're going to at least get our beach ball here, right? It seems like the beach would not be the beach without a beach ball somewhere, or a pail, sand pail. So you've got a sand pail in here with a sand castle. I mean, I've used sand pails for things besides doing the sand, right? Alright, so we're just going to put this here. Now, if we wanted to, we could easily, right? We could easily just put a surfboard here just to add to the picture if we wanted to. I really wanted to see about adding, we could do that. I really don't want to mess up my umbrella though. I'd much rather mess up the surfboard than the umbrella. Because I really like my umbrella. Right? Everybody just has all their stuff clustered around them when they're at the beach. So see, we can easily tuck that back here. And I am with this here. So I do like using the paper. I think using and coloring them is just as well too. But this was pretty cool just to sit there and, I'm not a surfboarder, alright? I watch people do surfboarding. But I've never done surfboarding myself personally. Okay, so we've got all of our goodie bags there, all of our stuff there together for the beach. So we're ready. So we can easily add another one of these. And the other thing is with these beach chairs is people always shorten theirs. Now, I don't know about you, but I have done this before. I have sat there and got me a very small chair, right? Where it just pretty much just is in the sand, right? Where my feet are. This allows me to sit there and sit at the beach. And I'm a little bit lower, but you know what? I get to still get the beach right there on my feet. You can put it here. I'm going to put mine right here. And I'm going to put that up with a dimensional as well, too. So, you know, the thing is, people say, you know, how do I come with different ideas? So that's where we get inspired, right? I always get inspired when I go to the beach. Always. One way or the other. And I'm just going to put this one shorter right here. There's always either somebody there like me with my feet in the water and my chair right there, or somebody's fishing or something. Okay, so we're not doing any fishing here, right? So, let's get our birds up here. So we're just going to use small dimensionals for the birds. And then I'm not going to put them on just yet, because I want to at least get our sentiment on here too, and where we're going to put it. Now what I thought would be really cool is to sit there and just sit there and separate the words. So we can do one or two things. Either separate the words or keep them together and just have a different look, right? So it's our card and you get to do whatever you want, right? That's the beauty of it all. When we create, we get to do what we want to do. So I am going to have my seagulls. They're flying all over the place. They're perched out somewhere, ready for you to drop some food or something. Okay, so I did this in two colors. This is Crushed Curry, and this is Daffodil Delight. So you can see that both hopefully are going to show up really nice here. I'm going to try to go with Daffodil Delight first, because that's what I really wanted. It says sending sunshine your way, right? So when I think of the beach, I get excited, and I do want to send you sunshine, because it's just fun to me. It's not fun for my husband, right? But it's fun for me, because I enjoy going and walking through the waves and the sand, right? To me, it's just relaxing. And for my husband, it's all about, he doesn't like getting the sand all over him. So if you go to the beach, you're going to get sand all over you, right? More than likely. It's just everywhere. So, so nice thing is when you sit there and do what we're doing right here, you can cut it apart, and you can either just sit there and put lengthwise all one string, or you can stagger the words. So it's all about options, right? That's what it's all about. It's all about options. And you know what? Our options and what we want to do change from day to day, depending on what mood we're on, what's going on. So sending sunshine. Get you some sunshine. We are getting plenty here, right? We're in a weather heat advisories. I think today's supposed to be 107 with a heat index like 114, which is definitely hot, right? So I can do it two different ways, right? I'm putting sending sunshine your way. And we can put that up higher, right? So the main thing is just don't tack it all down yet if you think you might want to change it, right? So I'm sending sunshine your way. I'll round this off just a little bit. Right, so I want to send you some sunshine. And not 107 degrees sunshine either, just something to brighten your day. Okay? I'm going to do it like this, because this way I can do my seagulls all around it, alright? So I am going to put this up on dimensionals, because I can, right? And the small dimensionals, mini dimensionals work just fine, because they'll fit just behind either one of these. So it's just a different way you can do your sentiment, especially like in this particular case, we're on a dark color. Alright, so if you're on a dark color, you're going to have to do something to make it pop on top. And we do the same thing here. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're using the dark colors. Especially that's where you're going to put your sentiment, right? So for the beach, I could have, so there's some different things we could have done, right? I could have easily set up there in distressed. I could have actually cut around each and every letter if I wanted to give a different look. But I just decided I want to do it this way. And we'll get this on print dimensionals. Just a fun day at the beach, right? Get your sunshine in, get your vitamin D in. So you only need 15 minutes, but I always need more than that. But mine's not just vitamin D, right? For me, it's just I just like going to the beach. I feel better, I breathe better. All that salt in the air. Okay, so now we're just going to put our seagulls here. So with the seagulls now, we can put them anywhere, right? So here we go. And this works perfect to go with the words too. So it allows me to go up with the words. Just make it simple, making it fun. There we go. Just a very simple card that we stamped, right? And we die cut. You die cut or fussy cut. Again, this was paper we used. That's wood grain from Country Woods. And we tore distress it to make it look like the ocean. And we just added some different things right here to sit there and complete it and make it a fun day at the beach. So I hope you enjoyed this. Yes, I have leftovers. And yes, next week we'll be doing this again. It'll just be a different design and layout and all. And we'll see what you think, all right? Because it's all about creating, having fun, and making a difference in someone else's life, right? So it's about creating, sharing, and giving. So go out there, create, share, and give, and touch someone's life, right? It could be a friend of yours. It could be a stranger. It doesn't matter. You know, we can be a beacon of light for others, and that's the main thing. So hope you're following us here. If not, be sure to follow us here on Facebook as well as YouTube and Instagram, where we post the photos. And if you're on the newsletter, you want to be on the newsletter, because soon we'll be sending out the Halloween mystery box as well as the paper share and ribbon share. With that, be blessed. I look forward to seeing you next week with Keep It Simple or Step It Up, and we will do another beach day card. Bye.